Now that you have everything about the formula, I mean the constraint, so just write it and let's check it together. It is the formula based on the diagram we discussed in the previous one. And as you can see here, we have some expenses. In fact, we have one expense. And we have some incomes and also an investment. So it would be something like this: the income from bond 1, income from bond 2, income from bond 3, all of them sum with the investment income minus the amount of money you invest in saving account at the beginning of year 3 must equal to 202. So in that situation, you are sure you are covering your obligation. So now we have it, the monetary demand of year 3 the same way. Okay, for year 4, it is going to be exactly the same. So in the next slide would be the formula. Even the diagram is not available. What I suggest, you draw the diagram first, and after that you write down the formula and check the answer with what you are seeing here. Okay, now I'm going to show you the formula for that. Again, you see for year 4, the income from bond 1, the income from bond 2, the income from bond 3, the income from saving account at the beginning of year 3 minus the investment you have at the beginning of year 4 must cover 231. That is the obligation at the beginning of year 4. The same thing continues for the same thing applies to year 5. So just in a very short time, I'm going to show you the answer for year 5. But again, I suggest pause the video, draw the diagram for year 5 and write the formula and check the answer with this. That you can see, since nothing has changed, still you have your income from bond 1, bond 2, bond 3 and saving account, and you have a new investment in a saving account at the beginning of year 5, and everything must equal to 240. So in that situation, you are sure you are covering, in fact, the amount of income you have minus the investment you have uh, equals 240, and you can cover it. But what happens in year 6, at the beginning of year 6, at the beginning of year 7, and beginning of year 8? That makes them different a little bit from here. Don't we have bond income in those years? Yes, we have. But the difference is that bond 1 will be mature at the beginning of year 6. So not only we will get the interest, as you can see here, but we are gonna get also the par value for that. That is $100. And since the measure here is K, so it would be 1. So the amount of income that we will have at the beginning of year 5 from bond 1 would be 1 is the par value plus the interest, 75. So it would be 1,08875. The rest would be the same, because still we get the interest from bond 2, still we get the interest from bond 3, and also we get the interest and the par value of saving at the beginning of year 5, that is 1.4 S5 and equal to the obligation. And also don't forget that still you have some more investments at the beginning of year 6. Let's check the answer together. So I made it super easy for you. I'm sorry, I didn't draw the diagram for you. I just did everything on the base of the previous formula that we have, and now it should look super easy to you when I show you this. As you can see, for at the beginning of year 6 we have B1 mature. You also get the par value of it. B2 and B3 are exactly the same. S5 is the same. The obligation at the beginning of year 6 is 195 and new investment is S6. So before you see the answer, please write the formula yourself. And here it is, the formula. As you can see, because they are income, so they all come with positive here, because all of them are income. And also on this side, we have the new investment in the saving, that S6, that it should be equal to 195. That is the obligation we have for year 6. Let me show you in that way, so you notice this 195 is coming from this part. Here you have at the beginning of year 6, as you can see, my friends, here 195. But remember, at the beginning of year 6 also bond 1 is getting mature, so you also get the money for that. And since it is $1,000, it is in fact 1K. So the amount of money that you get is, where is it? Beginning of year 6. Yeah, the amount of money that you get is this. When the amount of money is 1, as you can see here, plus the interest rate that we have, and that's it. And remember, all things are multiplied by $1,000. Okay, now you have the formula for year 6. For year 7, again we have another bond get matures, but for year 7 there is also something else happens, my friends. Since I don't want to spoil it for you, pause it and draw the diagram before I show you the diagram for year 7. But pay attention, for year 7 you already have one of your bonds, that was bond 1, got matured. So at year 7 you don't get any interest on bond 1 anymore. So for year 7, you are at the beginning of year 7, you are just getting the cash flow for 2 bonds, that are bond 2 and bond 3. And also remember, bond 2 is getting mature. Now, I'm not gonna spoil it more for you. Pause it, draw the diagram, and write the formula. And now we are gonna see the diagram for the monetary demand of year 7. It is that one. For year 7, as you can see, there is no B1 because it is matured and you get all the money for that. Where is the money for that? That all that money you got for bond 1. Okay, you use that money for investment in saving account and also paying the obligations you had regarding the early retirement. That was 195. So now you have only interest income for both B2 and B3 and par value of B2 here. And also you get the return on the investment you had in saving account. And also again, you have new investment at the beginning of year 7, and remember, it is some sort of being the last year, because the last cash flow relates to the beginning of year 8. Okay, now pause the video, and according to these points that I just mentioned, try to write the formula and check the formula when I show it in the next slide. And everything is exactly the same, and I'm not going to repeat all those details. And you see the incomes that you have, the new investment, and the obligation that you have. And the reason we have less number of terms here, because there is no B1 here. And let's go for the last one, that is the monetary demand of 8, the year 8, that you need to design the financial planning in a way that you are going to spend all the remaining money on that. So remaining for this question, you only have one bond, that is bond 3, because you already are done with bond 1 and bond 2. And remember, there is no more investment in saving accounts. You need to spend all your money here, because there is no obligations. So here, before I checked it, please pause and do the diagram. And here is the diagram. As you can see, the income from the saving account that you have at the beginning of year 7, and also the maturing and the interest from bond 3. As you can see, there is no bond 1, no bond 2, no new investments in saving. So it is just very simple. It is all the remaining money that you have. It is the amount of money that you invested in a saving account at the beginning of year 7, plus the interest that you got from that, plus bond, par value, and interest rate. As you can see, these things must equal 255. That is the last year obligations. Write the formula and check it with the answer. Okay, with these things, now we are done with this formulation. Now you have decision variables, objective function, as well as the constraint. And remember, non-negativity constraints always are there. So for B1, B2, B3, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, and S7. These are your decision variables, my friend, and all of them must be equal or greater than 0. When you put all the things together, you have your total mathematical modeling done. Very soon we will learn some computer-based techniques to solve this problem. So after solving this problem, it would exactly tell us how many B1, how many B2, how many B3, and how much at the beginning of year 1, how much at the beginning of year 2, how much at the beginning of year 3, and like that. In that way, it means more practical to you. Thank you so much.